Hello, it's time for the Greek of the week. And for our Greek verse this week, we are looking at Luke 8:5, Luke 8:5 in Greek. So let's start. Exelthen ho speron tu sperai ton sporon autu. A lot of sp. All has to do with seed of various kinds. So exelthen is he went out. All right. And the one who is going out is the sower, ho speron, the one sowing. Now, exalthen, if we parse it, elf is aorist, and it's the aorist of erchomai. It's irregular. So the root word here is, or the basic word here is ex erchomai, and it's aorist. Epsilon is a third person singular past tense ending, active indicative. So it is parsing it all, putting it all together. This is aorist, active indicative, third singular from ex erchomai. He, she, or it went out. And it's the sower that went out. Ho speron. Speron is a participle. The on is a nominative masculine singular participle. The article never lies. So there's the ho on the front, the one sowing. Spero means to sow. So there's no noun here, so it's the one sowing. We call that the substantive use of the participle. We have to come up with something like the word one. We could have said the man. One works fine as well, although probably it's going to be a man in the ancient world. But the one sowing went out to sperai. So the I here is an indication that we're looking at an infinitive. 6 out of 7 infinitives end in I, or 6 of the 7 infinitive endings are I. The other one is ein. But I is in fact a infinitive ending. And we would normally have a sigma alpha iota. It's an aorist infinitive, aorist active infinitive. But the rho, it's a liquid verb. And liquid verbs don't do sigmas. It's in their contract. So we have to kind of guess that this is an infinitive. It is an aorist active infinitive from spero. Now the genitive article with the infinitive is what I call an infinitive game. And in the infinitive game, the article to plus the infinitive is either a purpose or result. So the one sowing went out in order to sow. It's a purpose kind of construction with an infinitive. All right. So, and what is he sowing? He's sowing the seed of him. He went out to sow his seed. And the seed, as we will find in the interpretation, is the word of God. Next line. Kai ento sperein auton. Here's the other infinitive. So if 6 out of 7 infinitive endings end in I, the other one is ein. This is a present infinitive here. Ento sperein auto. While he was sowing. So this is another kind of infinitive game. If this is a genitive article to infinitive, this is a ento infinitive. And ento infinitive is what I call a temporal game. It's a time game. And when you have ento infinitive, it means while doing it. The subject, quote unquote, of an infinitive is in the accusative case. So auton is the subject. While he was sowing, or in the sowing hymn, me caveman, in the sowing hymn. You have to kind of get the feel for how these games work. But eventually, when you're my age and you've been doing Greek as long as I have, that's an easy pitch. And while he was sowing is the sense of it. Okay. Some, or you could translate this relative pronoun as what. It's neuter. Looks a little bit like the article, doesn't it? But there's something different. The relative pronoun has an accent, and the article doesn't. And this article, the, is masculine singular, nominative. And this ha is neuter singular. Confusing. Who made up this language? What, on the one hand, I didn't translate it because it would have messed up my line, but men is basically a contrastive, it's often not translated, but it means, on the one hand, that which fell along the road even was trampled on. Okay, so epicen is the aorist of pipto, through the tulips. By the way, nice little Van Gogh Parable of the Sower behind me. What fell, so this is, I've just memorized it. It's a second aorist of pipto. The augment is there. The sigma epsilon is there. Both of those would have told me it was aorist. Although actually the sigma is not, the sigma is the part of the word, not part of the ending. So that's a false clue. The epsilon does tell me it's a third person singular past tense, active indicative ending. Anyway, it's aorist active indicative third singular from pipto. What fell along the road, along the way, paratein hodon, kai katapatein, katapathethe, was trampled on. Kai ta patena tu uranu, katephagen auto, and the birds of the sky devoured it. Okay, even it was trodden. Theta eta has me thinking aorist passive. Aorist passive indicative third singular from probably katapateo, I would guess, to walk on. Pateo, a peripatetic, somebody who walks around. The augment is stuck right in here before the core word. And then katapateo, the epsilon is lengthened to an eta. So was trodden. And the birds, neuter plural alpha, bingo, of the sky. The birds of the sky devoured it. This is it. And then katephagen, a nu with an epsilon in front of it, is very often a movable nu. That was a movable nu. That was a movable nu. The nu just for sound. Throw it away. It means nothing. What is meaningful is the which is the third person singular past tense ending. Active indicative also. So the fog in the middle here is the aorist of estheo. So this is from katastheo. And it is aorist active indicative third singular from katastheo. It's irregular. I've just memorized it. Sorry. There's the augment, third letter there, just like we had the augment jump in the middle here. Augments never go in front of the preposition, or at least almost never go in front of the preposition. They are inserted before the kind of core word. So this is aorist active indicative third singular from katastheo. Well, there you have it, Luke 8:5. The sower went out to sow his seed, and while he was sowing, some fell along the road, and it was trodden, and the birds of the sky devoured it. That has been Luke 8:5, our Greek of the week. Say a prayer for my mother, if you might. She was admitted to the hospital today. She has pneumonia and COVID, but we believe in God, and we believe in not only miracles, but we believe in the medicine that God has facilitated people to have. This is the week of December 27th, 2020. Again, if the Lord brings my mother to mind, we would all appreciate your prayers. Have a great week.